Hello, Year 4, and welcome to day 28 of our home learning. It's Wednesday, the 24th of February 2021. I am going to give you a joke, a knock knock joke. So, knock knock. Who's there? Wooden shoe. Wooden shoe who? Wouldn't you like to hear another joke? Ha! Knock knock. Who's there? Atch. Achoo who? Bless you. Ha ha. Okay, so we're going to start off with our early morning work. So, what I would like you to do is quickly pause the slide and write the sentence. I'm excited to play football tonight, exclaimed Tom, beaming with a smile from ear to ear. So, pause the video and write the sentence. Excellent. Okay, so number one, it's saying, can you add a missing inverted comma? Now, you should be able to do that brilliantly because we've done lots and lots of work on that. Then you need to identify the adverbial phrase. Remember, an adverb is telling you how you're doing something. Number three, write I'm in its expanded form. So I'm is the contraction because it is short. It's two words shortened and put together. What two words make I'm? Number four, identify the speech verb. And number five, write two synonyms of excited. So excited, you need to find a word that means excited. You've actually got to do two words brilliantly. So pause the video now until we go and do the answers. Fantastic. Now, let's read the sentence again. I'm excited to play football tonight, exclaimed Tom, beaming with a smile from ear to ear. Now, you needed to put in the missing inverted comma. Now, the missing inverted comma goes after what is being said and the punctuation. So it's I'm excited to play football tonight, exclamation mark, and then your inverted comma. The next one was to find the adverbial. Okay, so the adverbial is, what's he doing? He's beaming with a smile from ear to ear. Then you had to write the contraction I'm in an expanded form. So I'm is short for I am. Then number four was to find the speech verb. So instead of saying said, there we have exclaimed. And then number five was the various possibilities. There's various possibilities for synonyms of excited. So we just said there was ecstatic, delighted, eager. You can think of some of your own. Okay then, so let's do some English. What you need to have is your notes from yesterday. So pause the video whilst you get your plan, from yesterday. Okay, so you've got your plan from yesterday, your story walk. What I need you to do is to write the date, Wednesday the 24th of February 2021, and the target. I can write a narrative. Because what we're going to do is we're going to begin to write our narrative. So pause the video whilst you do that. Okay, so we're going to use the story plan from yesterday to write our own narrative, to write our own story. Remember, you only need to include the main parts of the story. Otherwise, I think we'll be there forever. Okay? I want you to think about everything we've been learning about to improve our writing, especially, you've done inverted commas, we've done fronted adverbials, we've done past tense, okay? But we're going to write it as if you are Hiccup, so you are in the story, so you'll use I or me or our, okay? You won't use the word hiccup. So what we're going to include in our story is expanded noun phrases, simple, compound and complex sentences, direct speech using our inverted commas, we have fronted adverbials, and then we have capital letters and full stops in the correct places. We have sentences that make sense. I want neat and joined handwriting. I want you to really try with your spellings. And I also want it well presented. I don't want a load of scribble, okay? It has got to be the same standard as what I would accept or Mr. Smith would accept in school, okay? So, if you see anything in red, it's an expanded noun phrase. If you see anything in orange, it is a simple sentence. Pink, compound, okay? So, let's have a look to see what I've done first, because I've started my writing off. So I've got my title, How to Train Your Dragon. The Isle of Berk is covered in snow, thick, soft, white snow. This is where I live. I am the Viking son of the chief, and that means I am automatically the leader of the newly formed hairy hooligan tribe. Or I wish I wasn't. The other boys laugh and make fun of me. To be a real-life Viking hero, I need to lead this gang up Dragon Mountain and catch our very own baby dragon. As I am the leader, it is imperative that I catch the fiercest dragon of all. Wish me luck. Now, I didn't check, did I? Because I need to write 2 up there. I need 2. Let's have a look. I wrote it in the wrong place. Can you see my skills are improving all of the time? I need 2. And that's what is good about reading over your work. So if you have a look, I have got snow, thick, soft, white snow. So I've just said snow all by itself, but then I've expanded that and I've repeated this using expanded noun phrase. Thick, soft, white snow. Then I have in orange, this is a simple sentence. This is where I live. And then we have, I am the Viking son of the chief, and that means I am automatically the leader of the newly formed hairy hooligan tribe. And that is a compound sentence. Two independent sentences joined together with and. Remember? So I am the Viking son of the chief. That means I am automatically the leader of the newly formed hairy hooligan tribe. They're both joined together with the word and. To be a real life Viking hero, comma, there's our fronted adverbial, I need to lead this gang up Dragon Mountain and catch our very own baby dragon. As I am the leader, comma, there's another fronted adverbial. It is imperative that I catch the fiercest dragon of all. Wish me luck. The fiercest dragon. There we have an expanded noun phrase. So let's read that again. This is my introduction. The Isle of Berk is covered in snow, thick, soft, white snow. This is where I live. I am the Viking son of the chief, and that means I am automatically the leader of the newly formed hairy hooligan tribe. Oh, I wish I wasn't. The other boys laugh and make fun of me. To be a real live Viking hero, I need to lead this gang up Dragon Mountain and catch our very own baby dragon. As I am the leader, it is imperative that I catch the fiercest dragon of all. Wish me luck. Imperative means it is important. The dreaded day arrived. It was time to set off on our perilous journey to climb Dragon Mountain. The rest of the boys still didn't want me to be leader, but I think they have come to terms with it. Gobber the Belch, who was the giant soldier in charge of the initiation test, issued our instructions. He ordered us to go inside the cave and choose our dragon. Be careful, he ordered. You do not want to wake the dragons. Can you see there I've got my direct speech? Remember, I've got he ordered, the speech verb in the middle of my speech. Okay? Right. Your task. You are going to use your plan to write the rest of the story, basically. Now, you are going to have the rest of the week to write your story. So in English, your English lessons each day will be to write part of the story. Okay, I'm not expecting it in one day because I want decent writing. I want writing that makes sense. I want you to use all of the grammar features that we have used. So have a look at your plan, okay? And what I want you to do is think about, I want to divide it into 4 sections. So those 4 sections are for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right, make that 3 sections. Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Okay? Because it needs to be completed by Friday when I come to pick up your work. So instead of 4, it should be 3. So I'm going to cross the 4 out. And I'm going to say 3. When you are writing, so over the 3 days, you will have a section of your plan that you need to stick to because your story has to stick with your plan. You will keep referring to our success criteria that I have gone through with you, okay, to ensure that you have used examples of each, okay? You really need to make sure that your writing is making sense, that you've got brilliant handwriting, it's well presented, and your spellings. Now think about who your story is going to be for, okay? I would like these stories to be so good, I would like to put them on our Facebook page for parents to read, okay? So you're entertaining. You're going to entertain your parents. So what you need to do now is pause the video until you have done your part of your English from today. Okay, so now it's maths time. Okay, so again, you've got your challenge. We've got task 1, where you have got to answer all of those 12 division questions. You might be able to do it in your head. You might need to do some working out. Task 2 is to use the division facts to work out these questions. Let's have a look at the first one. Lewis has 36 chocolate coins. He shares them equally between himself and his 2 friends. So how many people are there? Lewis and his 2 friends, there are 3 people. How many coins do they each get? So your calculation would be 36 divided by 3. Now, you should know your 3 times table, so that's 36 divided by 3. How many 3's in 36? I know there's 10 3's in 30, 2 3's in 6, so that's 12. Task 3. Can you complete the times tables? That's self-explanatory. You should be able to do those, no bother. Task 4. Using each digit card, which numbers can you make? So you've got to see how many of those how many numbers you can make with the digits 7, 0 and 5. Task 5. Answer the following subtraction questions using column method. You know how to do column method for subtraction. Okay. And task 6. Complete the number tracks by following the patterns. So let's have a look at the first one. You've got 125, you've got a missing number, you've got 175 and 200. So look at the 2 numbers that are together. 175 and then 200. You know the numbers are increasing, they're getting bigger. Okay, so what do you have to do? So work out the difference between 175 and 200. Okay, so I would do 200 subtract 175 is 25. So the difference between each number is 25. So let's see if you can start at 125. So I've got 125 and I'm adding 20, I'm adding 25. So what number would I have? 150. Then I've got 175, I've got 200. So my next number would be 225. What would be the next number if I'm adding 25 on? It would be 250. And excuse my writing. Brilliant. Let's see if you can complete those for me. Okay, so I would like you to have a look at our target. It is to tell the time 1/4 and 1/4, and also to the nearest 5 minutes. Okay, we're going to condense quite a lot of it together. So we already know this. When the minute hand, that long hand, is halfway through its journey from starting at the o'clock from the 12 to 6, it's halfway around, we say that it is 1/2. When the minute hand is 1/4 of the way through its journey, it points to the 3. So from 12, from the o'clock to the 3, it is 1/4 of the way. Okay, so we say it is 1/4 past because it's 1/4 of the way past 12 o'clock. When the minute hand is pointing at the 9, it is 1/4 of a way, it is 1/2 of the way, and it is 3/4 of the way past 9. Now we can't say 3/4 past. So what we do, we say it is 1/4 of the way to the next hour. Okay, so we will go through those with you. So it is going 1/4 of the way to the time. So, because each journey starts at 12, the minute hand has only just gone past the hour. So this is 1/4 past. We have 1/2 past. Now, we can't say it's 3/4 past because that just does not sound right. We say it's 1/4 to the next hour. Okay, so we will talk about that in the next couple of slides. So it's 1/4 to the next hour. Right, so let's have a look to see if we can work out the time on these clocks. So let's have a look at the first one. If you have a look at the red hand, the minute hand, it is 1/4 past, and then the blue hand tells you the hour. So it's just moving after the 12, so it is 1/4 past 12. Let's have a look at the next one. Again, we've got 1/4 past 9. Fantastic. I wonder if you can think about what this time is. Look at the minute hand and look at the hour. It is 1/4 past 1. It's 1/4 past 6. Then we have 1/4 past 4. 1/4 past 7, and 1/4 past 10. Who thinks they know what this one is? Yeah, it is 1/4 past 11. Brilliant, well done, Year 4. Now, we said we couldn't do 3/4 past. Who can remember what this one is? We work backwards, don't we? So it is 1/4 to, and it's remember to the next hour. It's past 11 o'clock, So we're moving on to 12. So it's 11:45. You've got to imagine that the red hand, the minute hand, has gone all the way around. So what time was it before? It was 3 o'clock, and it's gone all the way around. So it's quarter to the next hour, which is the blue hand, the hour hand is pointing to 4:45. Then we have, remember, quarter of an hour to 2. A quarter of an hour to 7. So it's 7:15. The blue hand's nearly pointing to the 1. So it's 1:45. The blue hand, the hour hand's nearly pointing to the 5. So it's 4:45. Wonder if anyone can think about that one. 1:45. Would I be right in saying that's 8:45? No, because it's past 9 o'clock. It is quarter of an hour to 10 o'clock, so it's 9:45. Okay, so when we're telling the time, it is really important to be able to count in fives. So I just want you to practice counting in fives from 0 to 60. I wonder why I've said only to 60. Because there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, and that is the reason why. So if we count in fives, we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Oh, then there's a big space, and then we've got 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Now, the reason there's a big space is because they are past the hour. They're all past the hour, but they're in the past part of the clock, and these are in the 2. Okay? We've got 60 minutes in an hour. So the big hand on the clock counts the multiple minutes and is called the minute hand, which we already know. And we're going to look now at the minutes past the hour. So there we have our clock. And it goes round in 5 minutes. So for every number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it goes, each one of those represents 5 minutes. So I wonder if you can count with me and with the clock on the screen. Okay, so we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And remember, 30 minutes, okay, is the same as half past because it's halfway round the hour. Okay, brilliant. So let's see how good you are. Remember, each number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 5 minutes. So when the big hand, when the minute hand points to the 1, it means 5 past. When it points to the 2, it means 10 past. When it points to the 3, it means quarter past. Or some people say 15 minutes past. When the big hand points to the 4, it means 20 past. When it points to the 5, it means 25 minutes past. And you can count that by counting in fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And then we come to the 6, it means it's 30 minutes past, or it is half past. So who can remember how many minutes in 1 hour? 60. How many minutes in quarter of an hour? 15, because it is a quarter. Okay? How many in half an hour? 30, because it's halfway round. So, let's see if you can tell me what time does it say on this clock. We have the hour. Our hand is at the 4, so it is 5:10. So it is 10 minutes past, because this is the past side, 4 o'clock. So it's 10 past 4. Now sometimes you might see it written as 4:10. I wonder. Now let's look at the other half of the clock. This half is looking at minutes towards the next hour. So how many minutes to the next hour? Okay? So this side of the clock from the 12 to the 6 is past. From the 6 to the 12, it is minutes to. So when we find minutes to, we count back from 12 and we count in fives, because each of the numbers is 5 minutes. So we go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, because there's 25 minutes to the next hour. Okay, so there's 25 minutes to the next hour. We have got 5, 10, 15, 20. So there's 20 minutes to the next hour. We've already done this. It's 1:45, or there's 15 minutes to the next hour. Now we can count 5, 10. There's 10 minutes to the next hour. How many minutes to the next hour? 5. So, when the big hand points to the 7, it means 25 minutes to. When the big hand points to the 8, it means 22. When the big hand points to the 9, it means 15 minutes to, or you could say 1:45. When the big hand points to 10, it means 10 minutes to. When the big hand points to 11, it means 5 minutes to. Let's see if you can remember. What time does it say on the clock? Let's have a look. Okay then, so I know it is at the 9. It is 2:45 because we're going to the next hour, remember. Okay, so it's 2:45, or I can say it is 5, 10, 15. It's 15 minutes to 3 o'clock. Right, let's have a look at what it says here. Okay then, let's see how many minutes to it is, because it's after the 6. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So it's 25 minutes to the next hour. So it's 25 minutes to 5 o'clock. Okay, it is 5, 10, 15, 20. It's 20 minutes to the next hour, which is 1. So it's 20 minutes to 1. Right, let's go and have a look at your clock in a room and see what time it is. See if you can tell that time. Okay, your task today is, can you complete the timesheets in your pack with Wednesday on the top? You will have to put in the clock hands. Remember, one is longer than the other. The minute hand is longer than the hour hand. Don't get mixed up, otherwise it'll be wrong. And some you have to write the time in. Okay? So if you get working on those, and come back to us when you have finished. Okay, so you must be on for your reading workshop. I hope you are enjoying this book, because I am, and we are nearly finished. Okay, we're on our last ever chapter of this book, The Firework Maker's Daughter. Okay, so yesterday we read to page 105, and we're going to read the rest of that chapter today. I would like you to write the date and the target, and let's see how neat you can be. So pause the video now, please. Okay, so we're up to page 105, so I'm going to start just when it looked as if the ship was about to tip over. Up came King Neptune, waving his trident, accompanied by 3 mermaids. The band struck up, and the mermaids sang a jolly Euro song called Boom Bang Bang. The octopus waved its tentacles in time, and more rockets went off in rhythm with the music. The audience loved it. They roared with delight. "Oh dear," said Lackland, "that was very exciting. Oh dear, oh dear." "But didn't you see how they had to light the sea god?" Lila said. "They had to wait till he was right out of the water, and a little man in a boat reached up with a match. Just wait till they see our underwater fuse." When the applause had died down, Colonel Sparkington's display began. First, a lot of saucer-shaped fireworks whizzed down from the darkness and landed on the grass. That got a round of applause on its own, because fireworks usually went up, not down. Then the famous moon swung into view way up above the treetops, and Colonel Sparkington galloped in on a white horse made of tiny Catherine wheels, waving his Stetson hat to the audience, who were in such a good mood that they cheered and cheered. Lila could see an official beside the king, carefully counting the seconds that each burst of applause lasted. She swallowed hard. If you swallow hard, what does it mean? You're nervous. Yeah? You are a bit scared. Then came the climax of Colonel Sparkington's display. After stamping out the flying saucers with his Catherine wheel horse, the gallant colonel jumped aboard the red, white and blue rocket. A Cherokee chieftain galloped in on a Palomino pony and fired a blazing arrow at the tail of the rocket, which ignited at once and whooshed up along a wire to the moon, which Colonel Sparkington waved his hat all the way. As soon as it landed, a dozen craters flipped open, and out came some little round-faced moon people with big eyes and pointed ears. The audience went wild. The moon people waved the flags of all nations and bowed to the king. Colonel Sparkington distributed rockets to them all, and they whizzed off in all directions, singing a song called Sparkington Forever. You could hear the clapping, the cheering and whistling and stamping for miles around. Lila and Lachlan looked at each other. There was nothing to say, but then they hugged each other very tightly and ran to their places. And as soon as the audience was settled again, they began their display. Can you see the picture? That is all fireworks. Mine's black and white as well. The first thing that happened was that little lotus flowers made of white fire suddenly popped open on the water with no hint of where the fire had come from. The audience fell silent, and when the flowers began to float across the dark lake like little paper boats, they were completely hushed. Why do you think they were completely hushed? Do you think it was because they were astounded because it was really clever? Or do you think it was because they thought it was rubbish? I thought they were in awe. They were going, wow. And they were really wanting to see what came next, so that's why they were so quiet. Then a beautiful green light began to glow beneath the water and rose slowly upwards to become a fountain of green fire. But it didn't look like fire. It looked like water, and it splashed and danced like a bubbling spring. And while the fountain played over the lake, something quite different was happening under the trees. A carpet of living moss seemed to have spread itself across the grass. A million little points of light, all so close together that they looked as soft as velvet. A sort of ah sound came from the audience. Can we all say ah? Then came the most difficult part. Lila had designed a sequence of fireworks based on what she had seen on the grotto of the Fire Fiend, but it all depended on the delayed action, fuses working as they should, and of course they hadn't had time to test them properly. If some of the fireworks went off a second too early or a second too late, the whole show would just make no sense. But there was no time to worry about that now. Quickly and expertly she and Lachlan touched fire to the end of the master fuses and held their breath. First came a series of slow, dull explosions, like the beat of a muffled drum. Everything was dark. Then a red light shivered downwards, leaving a trail of red sparks hanging in the air like a crack opening in the night. The solemn drum beats got louder and louder, and everyone sat very still. holding their breath because of the irresistible feeling that something was going to happen. Then it did. Out of the red crack in the night, a great cascade of brilliant red, orange, and yellow lava seemed to pour down and spread out like the carpet of fire in the grotto. Lila couldn't resist glancing up very swiftly at Dr. Puffenflash, Signor Scarini, and Colonel Sparkington, and saw them all watching, wide-eyed like children. Show me your wide eyes. When the lava carpet had flowed down almost to the edge of the lake, the spread of the drumbeat got faster. The speed of the drumbeat got faster, and sharp bangs and cracks beat the air between them. And suddenly, dancing as he had in the grotto, Razvani himself seemed to be there, whirling and stamping and laughing for joy in the play of the eternal fire. Both Lila and Lachlan forgot everything else and seized each other's hands and danced as well. Never had they produced such a display. No matter what happened, it was worth it. Something was worth it. For a moment of joy like this, they laughed and danced for happiness. But their fire was not Razvani's, of course, and it couldn't last forever. The great red firework demon burnt himself out, and the last of the red lava poured slowly into the lake, and then the little white lotus boats, now scattered over the water like the stars in the sky, flared up and burnt more brightly than ever for a moment before all going out at once. Then there was silence. It was a silence that got longer and longer until Lila could hardly bear it, and she gripped Lachlan's hand so tightly it nearly cracked. And when she thought it was all over, Lachlan was doomed. Everything was ruined. There came a mighty yell from Colonel Sparkington. "Yee-ha!" he cried, waving his hat, and "Bravissimo!" shouted Signor Scarini, clapping his hands above his head, and "Huck, huck, huck!" roared Dr. Puffenflash, seizing the cymbals from his bombard Noggle Spanker in order to clap more loudly. The audience, not to be applauded by the visiting firework makers, joined in with such a roar and a stamping and a clapping and a thumping of one another on the back and a whistling and a shouting that 438 doves roosting in a tree 10 miles away woke up and said, "Did you hear that?" Of course, the court official timing the applause had to give up. It was obvious to everyone who had won, and Lachlan and Lila went up to the royal platform where the king was waiting to present the prize. Right, you have got to read up until 124. That is the end of our book, and you need to tell me what happened. So pause the video now and come back once you have read it, and then we will go through your task. Also, okay, so you're going to answer some questions, and it's all to do about inference, where you don't have to you have to find the answers, but they're not necessarily there. You've got to use the information. So I'm going to do the first, I've done the first one to show you how you answer them, okay, in full sentences. So number 1 was, how can you tell Lila and Lachlan are working well together? Well, at the beginning of the chapter, they listened to each other, they took advice from each other, and they worked as a team. Okay, and then I've chosen some information there to show how they've done that. So Lila and Lachlan are working well together as they are listening to each other, taking advice from each other, and working as a team. Lachlan listened to Lila about the name of the firework and also by burning the fuse underwater and the delayed fuse method. So that showed them that they were working well. Okay? Now, if we go on to the next page, you will be able to see the questions that you need to answer. And you need to answer them in the same way, in full sentences. So the question you have, number 1, why can't they think too much about Hamlet and Chulac? Number 2, why does Lachlan and Chulac's heart sink? Why does the day pass very quickly? Why do they wait until night time for the competition? Why isn't Lila worried about Signor Scarini's noisy display? Why do Lila and Lachlan hug each other before they start? And how do you know the other firework makers enjoy Lila and Lachlan's fireworks? And why has Frangipani decided to marry Hamlet? And what were the 3 gifts? So you now need to pause the video until you have completed those questions. Okay, our geography work. We have been learning about what? And there's clues there, isn't there? Yeah, you can see on the screen the clues of what we have been learning about in our geography. We've been learning about tornadoes. So if you can have a look at the photograph, I want you to think about the 4 W's. What, where, when and why. What do you think's happened? Where do you think it is? When did this happen and why? Okay, so have a really good look. You have got a black and white version of this photograph in your packs. So if you want to pause the video now, what you can do is you can go and get your pack. Okay, so you've got this video, your sheet, and what it's asking is what, when, where and why. So I'm going to start you off with a little bit of information. So what? Can you have a look at that photograph? This damage was caused by a tornado. It was over 1 mile wide, so that is maybe from school right to the top of town. Okay? Maybe next to the university. And it lasted for 45 minutes. So you should know 3/4 of an hour. Okay? Which is quite a long time. When did it happen? It happened on Monday the 20th of May 2013. And it happened in a place called Moore in Oklahoma in the United States. So there was a massive tornado, a very strong tornado, and it lasted for 45 minutes, and it is completely wiped out this town called Moore. Why? Because the cold air was coming in from Canada and the hot air and the Met. We know how tornadoes are formed. Yeah? So this is what has happened. So what I would like you to do is, I could have posted loads of links, but it would be easier for you just to go onto Google or YouTube and look at videos and find out information about this bad tornado in Moore in Oklahoma in 2013. I put into Google tornado in Moore, Oklahoma, May 2013, and there was a video that showed it. Okay, then you need to use that video and the information that I've had and complete that sheet. Okay, and then once you've done that, come back because I have a fun task for you to do if you can at the end. Okay, so pause the video now, go and do it, and then come back. Okay, so I thought what we would do is we'd make a tornado in a bottle. Now, if you haven't got all the things, I'm sure you'll be able to find something that you will be able to use instead. Okay, now we've all got water, right? You need a clear plastic bottle with a cap, with a top, maybe like a water bottle. Okay, a plastic water bottle. Glitter. I know some of you won't, or a lot of you might not have glitter, but you need to put something in that you can see what happens to it as you're moving. I've used food colouring before, but that might not be very good. You want to have something like, I don't know, something very similar to glitter, but don't go out and buy any, okay? Even if it's little pieces of paper, tiny pieces of paper ripped up, putting in. See if that works. And you need some washing up liquid. Okay, so once you've got all of those things, we'll go on to the method and I'll show you and I will explain how you do it. We'll follow the instructions. So the instructions is that you need to fill the plastic bottle with water until it reaches 3/4 full. So past half of half. You need to add a couple of drops of your dishwashing liquid, like your fairy liquid or whatever you use. Okay, about 3 or 4. You might need to do a few more, depending on how big the bottle is. It's saying sprinkle in a few pinches of glitter, and this will make your tornado easier to see, and that's why you need the glitter. Okay, if you haven't got glitter, I'm sure you'll still be able to see it. Then put the top on really tightly. Turn the bottle upside down and hold it by the neck. Okay, so the neck of the bottle is the thinner part where you go up to drink. Yeah, now nothing should run out because you put the top on really tightly. And what I want you to do is to spin the bottle in a circular motion for a few seconds. So put it in between your hands and twirl it, right? Then stop what you're doing and quickly look inside, and then you can see the tornado forming in the water, right? The longer you twirl it, the stronger the tornado will be. Okay? Keep trying, it does work. Right? So what's happening? So spinning the bottle in a circular motion creates a water vortex that looks like a mini tornado. The water is it's really quickly spinning around the centre of the vortex due to a force, okay? And the vortexes found in nature include tornadoes, hurricanes and water spouts. And that is a tornado in the water. Have fun, okay? Send me some photos of your homemade tornadoes. And I don't even know if that's how you spell it properly. There's my email address. Have fun and see who can send me a photograph of you, and we'll put them on our Facebook page. Okay? Well done. That is a really long video today, Year 4. Okay? And there's a lot of hard work going on. Remember, Try your best. It's not long before you will be coming back. Okay? And I will be getting you if you're not doing your best work. There'll be bother. Your playtimes and dinner times will be mine. Okay then, so see you very soon. Bye.